बरोबर. त्याला रेकॉर्डिंग चालू झाली बा इथे. हा.
Okay, so we are learning the classification of systems. Classification of systems. And how it works, let's see. The first classification is linear and non-linear system. Linear and non-linear system. So let's check how we can say the input-output relationship is linear or non-linear. If yt equal to t into xt, so what we are saying that this system is linear system or non-linear system, how we will identify. So first check is make input equal to 0. If it results output equal to 0, then system is initially relaxed or known as homogeneous system. This is initially relaxed or homogeneous system. And if input is multiplied by k, some non-zero constant, and if results multiplication of output by k, if the system satisfies this two property, then you can say system is linear in nature. मतलब अगर आपने इनपुट को आधा किया है तो आउटपुट भी आधा होना चाहिए, इनपुट को अगर डबल किया है तो आउटपुट भी डबल होना चाहिए. दिस इज द ओनली वे टू आइडेंटिफाई द linearity in the system. So let's say let's take x of t is equivalent to 0. It results y of t equal to 0. Means system is initially relaxed system or homogeneous system. Initially relaxed system. Now if input is multiplied by k, तेरा टाइम स्लॉट कौन सा खाली है इस पे लिख के अभी नहीं कल तो मतलब तेरी क्लासेस कब से कब से इस पे लिख जा पूरे दिन में बिल्कुल और कोई काम नहीं है बस नहीं मतलब और पक्का कोई नहीं है क्यों अरे वो अनुराग को बुलाया तो सचिन को भी बुला कोई तो 50% मिलेगा अच्छा if input is multiplied by k, if input is let's say k times of xt, then what is output? You can say this is t times of k into xt, which can be written as t into xt times of k. So this is k times of xt resulting k times of yt. This means the system is linear. So given system is linear in nature. थोड़ा और आगे बढ़ते हैं और देखते हैं how we can say that system is linear or non-linear. The one more example for this is let's say system is y of t equal to x square of t. If I make the first test, if I result x of t is equivalent to 0, y of t equal to 0 square, means system is initially relaxed. But the second test, if input is multiplied by k, if your k times of x of t is input, then what is output? It's a k times of x of t whole square, and this is k square x square of t. So k times of xt, and this is of course not equivalent to k times of yt. That's why system is a non-linear system. So this is example of non-linear systems. तो और आगे चलते हैं and let's start with some I have one example. Y of t equal to x of t square. This system is linear or non-linear. So now you can say x of t square is your input. So when you make xt equal to 0, it results x of t square is also equivalent to 0. xt को अगर मैंने 0 बनाया तो x of t square का वैल्यू भी कितना होगा? x of t square will also be 0. And if input is multiplied by k, if input is so this is k times of x of t square is equivalent to k times of y of t. So you can say इसका टाइम इंडेक्स का स्क्वायरिंग हुआ है फिर भी सिस्टम कैसा है? यू कैन से सिस्टम इज लीनियर वन. लीनियर सिस्टम, जितना इनपुट में चेंज करेंगे उतना ही चेंज आउटपुट में भी होगा. सो दिस सिस्टम इज ए वेरी मच लीनियर सिस्टम. आगे बढ़ते हैं. We have one more example. Suppose yt is equivalent to 4 times of xt plus 2 times of dxt divided by dt. Suppose this is input output relationship and I want to know whether the system is linear or not linear. So all homogeneous equations are, there is no constant value here, so we can say all homogeneous equations are linear. So if I take xt, if I make xt equal to 0, this will result yt equal to 0. xt को अगर 0 बनाऊंगा तो yt की वैल्यू को भी कितना कर देगा, 0 कर देगा. And what I can say, if xt is multiplied by k, the input is k times of xt, then what will be the output? Output will be k times of yt. आप रख के देख लीजिए, जहां जहां xt है वहां k का मल्टीप्लाई कर दें, so you can take k common. So k times of xt is equivalent to k times of yt, and if k times of xt is equivalent to k times of yt, system is said to be a linear system. But non-homogeneous differential equations are non-linear, है ना? So this is the idea. Let's take one more example. Yt equal to t to the power xt. So when x of t is equivalent to 0, when input is approaching to 0, y of t is approaching to 1, system is not initially relaxed system, not relaxed system, that's why non-linear system. All initially relaxed system can be a linear system, but this is not initially relaxed, that's why non-linear system. आगे चलते हैं और देखते हैं how we can proceed. Next type of system is known as causal and non-causal system. Causal and non-causal system. So what I can say, if input depends on, causal means cause and effect. कि पहले cause होगा फिर effect होगा, that system is known as cause and effect. So what you can say कि अगर आपने किसी है ना इनपुट देने के बाद ही आपको सिस्टम का आउटपुट मिले, that system is known as causal system. जरा देखें कि suppose Definition of causal system. A system is said to be a causal system. System is said to be a causal system if output at any given instant of time depends on past value or present value of input. What we can say, output at any instant of time depends on past or present value of input, then system is said to be a causal system. So what is the definition of causal system? You can say the output is a function of present value or past value. This is we are talking in terms of time. So this type of systems are known as causal system, otherwise non-causal system. Otherwise non-causal system. Otherwise non-causal system. So let's check how we can say one system is causal or non-causal. So output depends on present or past value of input, then system is said to be a non-causal system. Let's check for this. Y of t is equivalent to x of t minus x of t minus 1. You know, we want to know whether the system is causal or not causal system. So let's say input at t equal to 0. अगर आपने इनपुट किया है t equal to 0 पे, तो क्या रिलेशनशिप होगा? y of 0 is dependent on x of 0 minus x of minus 1. तो ये कौन सा वैल्यू है? दिस इज पास्ट वैल्यू एंड दिस इज प्रेजेंट वैल्यू. तो सिस्टम का आउटपुट t इक्वल टू 0 पे या तो प्रेजेंट वैल्यू पे डिपेंड कर रहा है या पास्ट वैल्यू पे डिपेंड कर रहा है. इट्स ओके. लेट्स चेक फॉर सम पॉजिटिव नंबर. लेट्स से t इक्वल टू 2. For t equal to 2, you can say output is at x equal to 2 minus x equal to minus plus 1. So you can say this is present value and this is past value. यहाँ तक भी कोई परेशानी नहीं है. Let's take one number as negative number. So t equal to minus 2 will be y of minus 2 is what? X of minus 2 minus x of minus 3, and this is past value and this is present value. So what I can say, this system is overall causal system. So we have to check for one for positive value, one for negative value, and for 0 you can check. है ना, कहीं ना कहीं आपको पता लग ही जाएगा. Let's say the next is y of t is equivalent to x of t plus 2 times of x 3 minus t. This system is causal or non-causal. So you can say y of 0, the output at t equal to 0 instant is dependent on x of 0 plus 2 times of x of 3, and this is what? Future input. That's why this system is known as non-causal system. Let's take one more example. From the input-output relationship, we can identify all the properties. Let's say y of t is equivalent to x of t plus 0 to t x lambda into d lambda. So what you can say? You can say this is y of t is x of t plus x lambda का जो इंटीग्रेशन होगा वो zt माइनस z0. हमको नहीं पता क्या होगा, तो हमने एक फंक्शन बना लिया z. So what I can say, y of 0 can be represented as x of 0 plus z0 minus z0. Causal, y of 1 can be represented as x of 1 plus z of 1 minus z of 0. So all number dependent on present value or past value, that's why this system is said to be a causal system, है ना. और t नेगेटिव पे तो ये एग्जिस्ट नहीं करेगा, तो केवल xt इक्वल टू yt विच इज वेरी मच causal. Next is y of t equal to x of t plus 0 to 3t x lambda into d lambda. So what I can say, you can say y of t is equivalent to x of t plus z of 3t minus z of 0. लिमिट में आपको कभी भी स्केलिंग मिल जाए, दिस मीन्स दिस इज नॉन लीनियर, नॉन causal system, है ना. Why? Because y of 0, okay, y of any positive number, this is dependent on x of 1 plus z of 3 minus z of 0, and z of 3 is what? Future input, है ना, future input. That's why system is said to be a non-causal system. ये कौन सा system होगा? This system will be a non-causal system. So by looking at input-output relationship, we can find whether system is non-causal or causal system. The next characterization of system is stable and unstable system. And what I can say, that criterion is known as bounded input, bounded output criteria. This criteria is known as bounded input, bounded output criteria. Bounded input, bounded output criteria. And what this criteria says? This criteria says, if suppose this is our system, this is x of t, this is known as yt, and yt is what? T of xt. Okay. So what I am saying, let's take input as bounded input. Input xt I am taking as bounded input. And if bounded input produce bounded output, अब what do we understand by bounded input? जिसका एम्पलीट्यूड इनफाइनाइट नहीं होना चाहिए. दिस टाइप ऑफ इनपुट्स आर नोन एज बाउंडेड इनपुट. जैसे ये what I can say, this is bounded input. जिसका एम्पलीट्यूड कभी इनफाइनाइट ना जाए, बाउंडेड रहे, इज नोन एज बाउंडेड इनपुट. This is bounded input. और कैसा इनपुट बाउंडेड हो सकता है ना, साइन ऑफ ओमेगा नॉट टी, कोसाइन ऑफ ओमेगा नॉट टी, u ऑफ टी, किसी भी पॉइंट में द इनपुट इज फाइनाइट, द फाइनाइट एम्पलीट्यूड सिग्नल्स आर नोन एज बाउंडेड सिग्नल्स. Finite amplitude signals are known as bounded signals. है ना. A bounded signal, bounded input produce a bounded output. और यहां से क्या हो जाए, आपको आउटपुट भी बाउंडेड मिल जाए. If output is also bounded, what I can say, if output is also bounded, then we can say the system is a stable system. है ना. अगर एक फाइनाइट, या बिल्कुल आसान सा कॉन्सेप्ट है कि if a finite input provides a finite output, so finite input provides a finite output, then system is said to be a stable system. Or we can say, if a finite input provides infinite output, this type of systems are known as unstable systems. So there are two types of systems. The criteria for checking stability is bounded input, bounded output criterion. The criterion is known as bounded input, bounded output criterion. So let's start. Let's say I have one example, yt equal to yt is equivalent to, you can say t times of xt, है ना. अब आप xt कुछ भी ले लो. Let's say I am taking one signal, xt is equivalent to ut. Ut तो bounded input है. क्या ये bounded output produce करेगा? No. What is the output? Output will be t times of ut, and t times of ut will what? T times of ut is unbounded output. So you can say this is unbounded output, है ना. कहीं ना कहीं जाके इसका एम्पलीट्यूड इनफाइनाइट हो जाएगा. तो दिस इज एग्जांपल ऑफ व्हाट, अनस्टेबल सिस्टम. तो ध्यान रखिए, सिग्नल अनस्टेबल नहीं होता है ना. सिस्टम इज स्टेबल और अनस्टेबल. चलो आगे बात करते हैं. सपोज आई हैव वन मोर एग्जांपल, एग्जांपल नंबर 2. y of t is equivalent to x square of t. So what I can say, if let's say xt is equivalent to ut तो आउटपुट कितना होगा ut square, and ut square is also bounded. If yt equal to if xt equal to, है ना, this will produce yt equal to u square of t, and u square of t is also bounded. And next is example. What we can say, you can take any example. Xt equal to sin theta will always produce a bounded output. That's why this is the bounded input bounded output relationship, and bounded input bounded output relation pair is always stable pair. So okay, so let's take few more example of stable or unstable system. Okay, so we are having example number 3, and we are interested in stability of the system. Let's say yt equal to e to the power xt. This system is what? Stable or unstable system. So you can take if you take xt equal to ut, then what you can say, yt is equivalent to e to the power u of t. So you can write e to the power u of t into two parts. For t less than 0, it's a e to the power 0. For t greater than 0, it's e to the power 1. And this is finite number. So this system is what? This system is producing bounded output. That's why stable. Or what you can say? You can say a finite input. When xt is finite, output is also finite. then system is said to be a stable system. आगे देखते हैं. Okay, next is yt is equivalent to minus infinite to t x of t into dt. We want to comment stability on stability of this signal. So what I can say, let's select xt equal to u of t. If I select xt equal to u of t, yt equal to what? R of t, and R of t is what? At t equal to infinity, it's a infinity. So this system is what? A bounded signal is generating unbounded input. That's why unstable system. So one integrator is a example of unstable system. Next, what about the differentiator? Yt is equivalent to d by dt of xt. What I can say, if x of t is equivalent to ut, then what will be the yt? Yt will be y of t will be del t, and del t is infinity at t equal to 0. That's why the system is unstable. ये भी किस टाइप का सिस्टम है? This is example of unstable system. So you can check unstable by putting input-output relationship. Okay. Now invertible and non-invertible system. We are interested in invertible and non-invertible system, how this system will works. Invertible and non-invertible system. Suppose I have this type of arrangement. Let's say this is one system. This represents output and this represents input. If input is x1 and x2 and output is same y, अगर दो input same output produce कर दे, then you can say your system is non-invertible system, है ना? Many into one mapping. Many to one mapping. Many to one mapping is an example of non-invertible system. This is example of what? This is example of non-invertible system. This is example of non-invertible system. So this is many to one mapping, and many to one mapping is example of non-invertible system. So this is idea, and one to one mapping is, है ना, input is creating a unique output. Means x1 input, if x1 input is able to create a unique y1, then this is known as invertible system. और invertible system का inverse system भी possible है. Inverse system is also possible for invertible system. So Let's check whether given system is invertible or non-invertible. जरा देखते हैं. Suppose a system is yt equal to x of t square. So can I say when x of t is equivalent to 1, it's 1 square, answer is equivalent to 1. When xt is equivalent to -1, it's -1 whole square, which is also equivalent to 1. So more than one input generating same output. That's why system is said to be a non-invertible system. This is example of non-invertible system. जरा देखें अगला. I have one more example. Yt equal to x of 2t. This is invertible system or non-invertible system. So what I can say, let's say this is our system. If input is x of t is input and y of t is output. What I am saying, the input is given by this. Let's take, I am taking this as my input. -1, 1, this is 1. This is x of t. And y of t equal to what? Y of t is equivalent to x of 2t. And x of 2t will be what? You can say x of 2t will be this. This is -1 by 2. This is 1 by 2. And I can say this is x of t by 2. X of 2t. So if I want this signal back, इसका inverse system कैसा होना चाहिए? There is a concept of inverse system. Inverse system, and the value of inverse system means must be x of t by 2. So x of t by 2 will create the same output. So this is the idea of inverse system. Okay, I have one more. Hello. So I have one more system. I have one more system which is yt equal to d by dt of xt. I want to know whether this system is invertible or non-invertible. So what I can say, if I select xt equal to 1, yt is equivalent to 0. If I select xt equal to 2, yt is equivalent to 0. So this is more than one input producing the same output. This means system is more than one input is producing the same output. This means system is invertible system. Now what I can say, let's take few more examples. Y of t is equivalent to minus infinite to t x tau d tau, and this is a unique input will produce unique output. That's why the system is said to be a invertible system. And what is inverse system? D by dt of xt. This is the inverse system. So this is how we can check the invertible non-invertible system, causal non-causal system, linear non-linear system. Now let's move ahead and let's see some examples. So let's try few previous year problem based on this concept. कुछ previous year problem try करते हैं हम and Okay, so let's try some problem based on हमने जो अभी तक पढ़ा है उस पे बेस्ड कुछ प्रॉब्लम ट्राई करते हैं और देखते हैं हाउ वी कैन गेट द आंसर यूजिंग दिस प्रॉब्लम ऑफ दिस प्रॉब्लम्स. ओके, फर्स्ट प्रॉब्लम देखें. अ पीरियोडिक सिग्नल, ये सारे प्रीवियस ईयर हैं. सो अ पीरियोडिक सिग्नल इज गिवन बाय 30 साइन ऑफ 100t प्लस कॉस ऑफ 300t प्लस साइन ऑफ 500t. फंडामेंटल फ्रीक्वेंसी बताना है. So what I can say, the omega 1 for this signal is given as 100 radian per second. Omega 2 for the signal is given as 300 radian per second, and omega 3 for the signal is given as 500 radian per second. And we know that omega 1, omega 2, omega 3, any of the ratio is not irrational or all are rational. There is no irrational causing term here. So you can say the fundamental frequency omega naught is given by highest common factor in 100, 300 and 500. And what will be the answer? The value of omega naught will be the 100 radian per second. So what is the answer for this question? A option is correct. So this is GATE 2013 problem. अगला देखते हैं. अगले क्वेश्चन को देखें और उसको ट्राई करने की कोशिश करें जरा. Try this question. Okay. Fundamental time period of the signal. What we can say, this provides the DC shift what is period of this signal? Omega 1 equal to pi radian per second, omega 2 equal to 2 pi by 3 radian per second, and what you can say, omega 3 is equivalent to pi by 2 radian per second. These are three frequency components, and everything is having pi. So omega 1 by omega 2 or omega 2 by omega 3 or omega 3 by omega 1 ratio all are rational. So you can say the fundamental time period. So let's calculate the fundamental frequency of this signal. Fundamental frequency is what? SCF of pi 2 pi by 3 and pi by 2. So what is SCF of this number? You can say SCF of these numbers are pi. And what is LCM of denominator? It's 3 and 2, 6. So omega naught is equivalent to what? Pi by 6. है ना? SCF of pi, 2 pi and pi is pi, and okay. So omega naught can be written as 2 pi by T naught. So 2 pi by T naught equal to what? Pi by 6. Pi and pi cancel. So T naught is equivalent to 12 is correct answer. So 12 second is time period for the signal. So keep this thing in mind. It's a 12. Which of the following signals are or is aperiodic? इनमें से कौन से सिग्नल हैं जो aperiodic हैं? Okay. So what is period of this signal? Let's calculate the period for every signal. So what is period of this signal? You can say omega 1 is equivalent to 2, omega 2 is equivalent to 3, omega 3 equal to 5, and fundamental frequency is defined as SCF of 2, 3 and 5, which is equivalent to 1. So you can say 2 pi by T naught equal to 1. T naught is equivalent to 2 pi. So what is period of the signal? The period of the signal is 2 pi. Again, this signal is having frequency omega equal to 8 pi. So no issue, it's a periodic. E to the power j is always a periodic signal. Again, one more signal is e to the power minus 70. You know? If I draw this signal e to the power minus 70, you can say it will looks like this. At t equal to infinity, it's 0. At t equal to minus infinity, it's so this signal is looks like this. this signal is not periodic. So you can say this signal is not periodic. And again, this signal is omega 1 plus omega 2 equal to 6 and omega 1 minus omega 2 equal to 2. So this signal is of course periodic with period 2. With omega naught equal to 2 is correct answer. Now we are having next question. Fundamental frequency बताना है signal की, तो what I can say, what is omega 1? Omega 1 is 1.2 pi. What is omega 2? Omega 2 is equivalent to 2 pi. What is omega 3? Omega 3 is equivalent to 2.8 pi. Frequency बताना है आपको, तो it's a, what I can say, omega 1 is equivalent to 12 by 10, यानी 6 pi by 5. Then it's a 2 pi. Then it's a 14 by 5. So we want SCF of this. So SCF of this is 2 pi and LCM of is 5. So this is 2 by 5. 2 by 5 is 0.4 pi. Okay, we made a mistake, I think. 14 by 5, 2 pi, 2 pi. अच्छा, हर्ट्स में पूछा है, तो दिस इज वैल्यू ऑफ 2 pi f. F and F cancel, so value of F equal to 0.2 hertz. So what is answer for the question? 0.2 hertz is the correct answer. Now we are having one more question which is given by fundamental frequency for this signal, है ना? हर्ट्स में पूछी है, तो आप देखें कि वी आर हैविंग टू सिग्नल, एक का फ्रीक्वेंसी है 40 पाई और एक का फ्रीक्वेंसी 200 पाई. व्हेन 200 पाई इज मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 1, दिस सिग्नल इज हैविंग फ्रीक्वेंसी ओमेगा 1 इज इक्विवेलेंट टू 200 पाई. And when 200 pi is multiplied by 40 pi, you can say one frequency you will get addition. So addition की frequency को मैं लिख रहा हूँ 240 pi. And 200 pi minus 40 pi is omega 3. Omega 3 is equivalent to 160 pi. This is the idea. So what is the fundamental frequency? Omega naught equal to SCF of omega 1, omega 2 and omega 3. So SCF of 240, 160 and 200 pi is 40 pi. So 40 pi is equivalent to 2 into pi into f. So this is 20. So what I can say, the answer in hertz is 20 hertz is correct answer. Now calculate the fundamental frequency in radian per second for this signal. What I can say that this is omega 1. Omega 1 is 100 radian per second. This is omega 2, which is 300 radian per second. And this is omega 3, which is 500 radian per second. So how we can define omega naught? Omega naught is equivalent to SCF of 100, 300 and 500. So SCF of all this quantity is 100. So SCF is 100 radian per second. So which option is correct? This option is correct. We have one more question. And for this question, what they are asking? They are asking for what? They are asking for time period in radian per second. So what I can say? Omega 1 is 2 pi by 3. Omega 2 is equivalent to pi. So 2 pi by T1. So can I say both the term having pi? So you can say omega naught is equivalent to SCF of 2 pi by 3 and pi. So 2 pi and pi having SCF is equivalent to pi, and 3 and 1 is LCM is having 3. So fundamental frequency for this signal is pi by 3. So you can say 2 pi by T naught is equivalent to pi by 3. So pi and pi cancel. The value of T naught is equivalent to 6 seconds. So what is answer for this? Answer for this is equivalent to 6 seconds. Try this question. Wonderful question. What I can say, if x of t having period t equal to 3 seconds, then what I can say, x of minus t is also having period t equal to 3 seconds. कोई परेशानी की बात नहीं है. Then what is period of y of 2t? Y of t is having period t equal to 3 seconds. Then what will be the period of y of 2t plus 1? So there is no effect of shifting. This will be 3/2. है ना? क्या हो जाएगा? सिग्नल श्रिंक हो जाएगा. तो दो स्केलिंग फैक्टर 2 है, तो 2 से पीरियड श्रिंक होगा तो कितना हो जाएगा? 3/2 उसका पीरियड हो जाएगा. और 3/2 उसका पीरियड हो जाएगा. तो व्हाट इज नेट पीरियड? यू कैन से द टोटल फंडामेंटल टाइम पीरियड इज LCM of 3 and 3 by 2, which is equivalent to 3. In this signal, what they are saying find the power of the signal. So what is power of this signal? है ना, there is no overlapping. दो different frequency component के signal जो होंगे उनके बीच में कभी आप this signals are known as orthogonal signals. और अगर ये सिग्नल ऑर्थोगोनल हैं तो हम बोल सकते हैं इसका पावर होगा 8 square by 2 and power of this signal is 4 square by 2. So this is equivalent to 64 by 2 plus 16 by 2, which is 32 plus 8, and 32 plus 8 is equivalent to 40. So what is the answer for this? 40 watt is correct answer for this. So I think हम फिर आ जाते हैं वन नोट पे और देखते हैं कि व्हाट इज नेक्स्ट टॉपिक. नेक्स्ट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट ऑपरेशन इन एलटीआई सिस्टम. A very important operation of LTI system is a very important operation of LTI system is convolution, है ना? That operation is known as and you can define convolution as x1 of t convolution with x2 of t can be written as minus infinite to infinite x1 of tau into x2 of t minus tau into d tau. This is the basic idea for convolution. तो अभी हम पढ़ रहे हैं convolution is an operator. जरा देखते हैं how it works. तो देखते हैं इनको कि ये कैसे वर्क करता है. So what I can say, let's say I am interested in convolution of this function xt is equivalent to ut and yt and x1t is equivalent to ut. हम सभी ग्राफिकल कन्वोल्यूशन जो सिग्नल एंड सिस्टम का मेन पार्ट है उसको भी देखेंगे, बट यस लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड द फॉर्मूला फर्स्ट. And x2t is also equivalent to ut. We want to convolve this signal. I want operation y of t, and y of t is given by x1 of t convolution with x2 of t. So what I can say, y of t is tau equal to minus infinite to tau equal to infinite. This is u of tau into u of t minus tau into d tau. Can I say the product of these two functions is valid? Valid for what? You can say the product of these two functions is valid for this. one function is minus infinite to, है ना, this is tau axis, ये tau axis है, and this is, so what I am saying, this function is what? This function is u of t minus tau, और ये लिमिट कितनी होगी? Tau is equivalent to t. And second function is u of tau. So you can say, let me draw the second function, which is, okay, let's take this. Second function is this. तो इन दोनों का प्रोडक्ट केवल इस रीजन में कितना आएगा? 1. बाकी सब जगह कितना हो जाएगा? 0. So this point can be written as tau equal to 0. So what I can say, y of t is nothing but integration from tau equal to 0 to tau equal to t 1 into d tau. So you can say y of t is equivalent to t for t greater than 0, or t greater than 0 can be written as t into ut. So what I can say, the convolution of ut with ut, unit step का unit step के साथ convolution करोगे तो what will be the answer? The answer will be t times of ut. Answer क्या होगा उसका? t times of ut will be the answer. Let's take one more example just to remember this idea of convolution. Let's say x1 of t is given by e to the power minus of 2t, convolution in time domain, and x2 of t is given by e to the power minus of 3t into ut. We are interested in convolution of these two functions. So let's start. Y of t is equivalent to integration minus infinite to infinite x1 of tau into x2 of t minus tau into d tau. Or what I can say this is tau equal to minus infinity to tau equal to infinity. This is e to the power minus 2 tau into u tau into e to the power minus 3 t minus tau into u of t minus tau into d tau. Just basic integral. Now what I can say, y of t can be written as tau equal to minus infinity to tau equal to infinity, e to the power minus 3 tau plus e to the power 3 tau is e to the power tau into e to the power minus of 3t, and product of u tau and u of t minus tau. Can I say this two number is responsible for deciding the limit? So can I say this function is u of t minus tau, and again next function is u of tau, so you can say u of tau will looks like this. This is u of tau. So what is common area between these two functions? The common area is tau equal to 0 to tau equal to t. So you can say the whole integral will become y of t equal to e to the power minus 3t is outside of this integral because this is not part of this tau thing, and this is e to the power tau into d tau from tau equal to 0 to tau equal to t. This is the idea. Now what I can say, y of t can be written as e to the power minus 3t into integral of this e to the power tau from tau equal to 0 to tau equal to t. So yt can be written as e to the power minus 3t from e to the power t. So this is e to the power minus 2t minus e to the power minus of 3t, and this exists for t greater than or equal to 0. That's why I am multiplying this by u of t. This is only valid for t. let's take next type of convolution is known as this. What is convolution of x1 t? I am taking as del t, x2 t is I am taking as e to the power minus 2t into ut. What is convolution of these two signals? Like this. So how we can proceed for this question? Y of t is x1 of t convolution with x2 of t. So what I can say, y of t is equivalent to minus infinity to infinity x1 of tau into x2 of t minus tau. So e to the power minus 2 t minus tau into u of, or it's a better to write this e to the power minus of 2 tau into u tau x2 of tau into x1 of t minus tau into d tau. What I can say, the product of this two function is only defined at tau equal to t. So put tau equal to t, this will be e to the power minus of 2t into ut. And what is remaining? Remaining function is, the remaining function is minus infinity to infinity del of t minus tau into d tau, and the integration of impulse is always equivalent to 1. So what you can say? You can say that when you convolve impulse with any function, the idea will be the impulse. So what I can say that what is convolution of this? X of t convolution with del t is what? Xt. This is the very important property which will directly help you in a lot of questions. Then let's say take the new property of convolution, which is let's say x of t convolution with h of t is equivalent to yt. Then x, this is shifted by t1, this is shifted by t2, then what will be the new y prime of t, है ना? कि अगर एक सिग्नल आपने क्या किया, सिग्नल में शिफ्टिंग कर दी तब क्या होगा, जरा देखते हैं. So we can say y prime of t is equivalent to minus infinity to infinity x of tau minus t1 into h of t minus tau minus t2, है ना, x of t h of t minus tau into d tau. This is the whole idea. Now let's say tau minus t1 is, let's say I am saying this is p, है ना. So what is new value of tau? The new value of tau is equivalent to p plus t1 and d tau equal to dp. So you can say this is p equal to minus infinity to p equal to infinity. This is x of p and this is h of t minus p minus t1 minus t2. Just I am replacing the tau. Now what I can say, let's rearrange this. This is integration from p equal to minus infinity to p equal to infinity. This is x of t into h of t minus p. Now what is new t? T is t minus t1 minus t2 minus p into dp. So you can say this is x of tau into h of t minus tau. So this is your new t prime, है ना. Let's say I can write t minus t1 minus t2 is, I am writing as t prime. I am saying, let's say this is t prime. If this is t prime, then you can say p equal to minus infinity to p equal to infinity. This is x of p into h of tau prime t prime minus p into dp. And what I can say, this is nothing but y of t prime. यहाँ जो भी function होता है उसका function होता है y. So t prime can be written as you can write the final is t minus t1 minus t2. This is the statement. So this is very important property of convolution, that if xt, है ना, what is convolution of these two properties, two signal, x of t minus t1 convolution with h t minus t2, then you can say the final convolution will be h of minus t1 minus t2. प्लस होगा तो प्लस आ जाएगा, माइनस होगा तो माइनस आ जाएगा. So this is idea of convolution for, this is the convolution property of in time domain. Yeah. चलो आगे देखते हैं. Now next we will start a graphical convolution. The most important part of this is graphical convolution and some more properties of convolution. And one of the property which you will prove, that if x of t convolution with h of t is equivalent to y of t. Then हमें क्या प्रूव करना है? We are interested in this. What about dyt divided by dt? Can I say this is dxt by dt convolution with ht, and this is equivalent to xt convolution by d by dt of ht, है ना? This is the idea. So we will prove this property, that this property is correct, and we will go for the graphical convolution, है ना? How we can perform the graphical convolution for the signals. So this is very important properties, or I can say you can say that suppose d by dt of mth derivative, I am taking mth derivative of xt convolution with nth derivative of ht, then you can say what will be the output? This is equal, है ना? इसमें कोई confusion नहीं है. So this is, we will start in the next class. I think this is done for the day. कल हम करते हैं start graphical convolution.